not receive any piece of criticism without breaking down? Do you take things way too personally? Do you find yourself constantly spiraling over any piece of negative feedback that was ever said towards you? Girl, stop. You are so much better than this. I know criticism sucks. I know it makes you feel bad about yourself. I know it makes you feel discouraged, but you do not have to live this way. This is your sign to learn how to handle criticism like an it girl before 2024, and this video is going to teach you exactly how to do that. Do you know those it girls on TV like Serena Van Der Woodsen who just goes bouncing about their day, feeling so confident, looking so effortlessly hot and beautiful while receiving so much criticism, but they don't care. They're unbothered. They are rocking it. They know that they look good because they have mastered self-love. They have mastered the art of handling criticism with grace. That is going to be you. Visualize yourself strutting down the street, feeling hot in your amazing outfit, iced coffee in hand, not a care in the world about what anyone has to say about you because you are healed. You love yourself. You've done the self-work. You are confident. And no matter what anyone says about you, nothing is going to take that away from you. You are unbreakable. You are an it girl. And nothing anyone will ever say to you is going to ever make you diminish your own self-worth. If you want this to be you, then watch until the end. Welcome back to the Get Up and Glow podcast. I am your host, Madison Haynes, your glow up self-improvement fairy godmother. And in today's episode, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about how to handle criticism, how to not let it stop you, and instead, how to let it fuel you on your self-improvement journey. I know you've been searching for the answer to stop your thoughts, to stop your spiral because someone criticized you and you feel bad about it. And I know that all the videos you've watched out there, there's something about it that just doesn't resonate with you. It has not solved your problem, but I promise you, if you watch this video all the way to the end, you will feel better. You will discover the ultimate secret on how to end your spirals whenever you face criticism. Here's the thing, you're never going to be able to stop it, and it is a sure fact that you will be criticized more and more throughout your life. So it is time that you get a hold on criticism and not let it affect you and tear you down so much, and here's how. Today's chapters are going to be about determining if the criticism is toxic or helpful, why all criticism is not credible, why people criticize, what to do about people who criticize your work. You will discover how the most successful people handle criticism and how to stop being so critical of yourself. But most importantly, at the end of this video, I am going to be revealing the ultimate hack on how to stop your constant spiral when you have to deal with criticism. We're going to stop that once and for all. Okay, gorgeous. Let's get right into the video. Chapter 1. Processing criticism and determining if it is toxic or truly helpful. So when you receive that criticism, I want you to stop and figure out how it makes you feel. Why do you feel this way? Does it strike a nerve? Do you feel like that criticism is true? And is that why you are so obsessed with it and you cannot let it go? Because here's the thing, if someone came up to you and it was like, I hate your red shirt is so ugly, you wouldn't be bothered because you know you're wearing black. So you'll be easily able to just brush off that criticism because you know it is not true. But when you become really obsessed with criticism, when it really hurts you, there is a deeper meaning that you should not ignore. You need to figure out that root cause of why you feel that way, because then it will help fuel you on your self-improvement journey going forward. Regardless of if that form of criticism is credible and constructive or if it is toxic, it made you feel something, and that feeling should be noted because it can help you throughout your self-improvement journey. Okay, so once you've received the piece of criticism, once you've figured out how you feel about it, you need to determine if it is toxic or truly helpful. So what is the difference between toxic criticism and constructive criticism? Girlie, I have got the answer for you. Constructive criticism is for the greater good, your greater good, to help make you better in your career, a better student, a better person, or just achieve the goal that you are working towards faster. For instance, constructive criticism would be returning your assignment and saying, you know what, you got a B+. I could see that you did great work and that you tried, but your spelling was wrong. You need to work on the grammar going forward, and you missed a key component of the report that was in the outline. While toxic criticism would be like, you did horrible. Like, did you even read this outline? I have no idea why you handed this in. It was absolutely the worst paper I've ever read. The constructive form of criticism works to help guide you to improve, to be better, while the toxic form of criticism makes you feel bad about yourself. Now, throughout this video, you need to remember the difference because it is going to help you solve your problem going forward. Is this criticism even warranted? Unless you're in a position where your job is to give somebody criticism, the rule of thumb truly is if they cannot change it, do not criticize it. Now, as amazing as it would be to say, oh, everyone follows this rule, you're here because you know that people don't. People will give you unwarranted criticism all of the time. Here's how to handle it. First off, determine if it is truly helpful, and if so, embrace it. View it like this. You just got free advice that is bringing you closer to your goals. Think of this criticism as your fast pass to success. Because someone might be telling you something that is a little hard to hear, but it is something that you're working towards and you've been working on for so long. And if you took that criticism, was open to it, paid attention to your feelings, of course, but then actually took action to improve that thing that they're criticizing you on, that could get you so much further on your self-improvement, on your glow-up journey, than waiting and figuring it out for yourself a year down the road. This could literally shave years off of your self-growth journey. You just need to practice the art of being unbothered, for taking the criticism for what it is and not allowing that or attributing that to you being not good enough. Do not take it personally. View this as fuel for getting you closer to where you want to be. Think of the iconic it girl, Serena Van Der Woodsen from Gossip Girl. She consistently just would go out and embrace herself. She had so much self-love, so much confidence. She was an unbothered queen, truly. And no matter where she went, Gossip Girl always followed her. The tabloids were always up in her business. She did not care about what any of those people had to say about her. She wouldn't go text Blair being like, should I wear this outfit when I go out? She wouldn't go and read the headlines and obsess about them, checking them every single morning. No, she would go about her day. She would rock her outfit because she knew she looked good, because she cared about herself. She loved herself. She did not need validation from someone else, from anybody, to tell her that she was smart, she was pretty, or she was good enough. She just knew. But when someone who was in a position of authority questioned her, or when a family member or a close friend critiqued her on something that she knew was a problem, and she was already aware of that because she was on her self-improvement journey, she listened. Which leads us into chapter 2, why all criticism is not credible. Would you take criticism on your outfit from Bill Gates? No, absolutely not. But you would take business advice from him. When you receive criticism, consider the context, the person, and the situation. Some people will give you constructive criticism because that is how they learned over the course of X amount of years of how to get where they want to be. Some of the most successful people are in those positions because they were consistently criticized and they didn't break it as a result of it. They use that criticism to fuel them, to learn from them, to take that as lessons going forward to get them to that success. At the same time, there is going to be people who criticize you because they don't understand where you're coming from. They don't see your vision. They don't align with what you want to be. Or they are just doing it solely because they are lacking something in their life and they're trying to pull you down to make themselves feel better. It is up to you to decide the difference. And do you want to know life-changing advice? Do not take criticism too seriously from someone you wouldn't trade places with. Okay, chapter 3, why do so many people criticize? Understanding people truly is power. Because when you understand someone, you can see things from their point of view and you can really understand that it has nothing to do with you. If you struggle with getting over criticism, here's a life-changing revelation that you need to grasp. People criticize the decisions you make because it is different from theirs. People criticize the decisions you make because it is different from theirs? People criticize the decisions I make because it is different from theirs. Think about it and repeat this to yourself. You even do this too. It makes people uncomfortable to see someone make a different decision from them, especially when it is a significant one, because it makes them question themselves. They look for validation to make themselves feel better because they think, oh my goodness, is this the right decision? Like, oh my goodness, are people judging me because I'm not doing this? Everyone wants to feel good enough. Everyone wants to be seen as like the best person they can be. Everyone wants to feel like they're making the right decisions and everyone's saying great things about them and everyone is giving them praise. It is basic human psychology. We all want to be right. For instance, if you just bought a new house and your friend is still renting and living in a condo, your friend should be 100% supportive of you. Should not benchmark your success with theirs. A good friend will know the difference. But regardless of if they're criticizing you directly or not, they are probably thinking the following. Psychology suggests that when someone makes a different decision than you are looking for the reason to prove that you are good enough, that your decision was right, regardless of if you're aware of this or not. Now, many people will have these thoughts and either tell someone else that's super close to them or just keep them to themselves, which honestly, of course, is the best thing to do. But some people just cannot help it. resulting in unwarranted criticism. For instance, that friend might tell you, oh wow, it's so cool that you're getting a house, like that's so exciting. For me it'd be way too much to clean. I like the city life because it is so much more fun, way more to do, but good for you. Also can happen vice versa. You might receive that little form of criticism or the backhanded comment and go to your partner and say, oh well, I don't know why they're saying that. I could never live in the city. It is so dirty and living in a condo would just be so small. But you should not take this criticism too personally, regardless if this is a gossip that you realize your friend said about you, or if they're giving you this criticism directly to your face. Just remember in these moments that it has nothing to do with you. It is resulting from their own insecurities, because now they might think that you are going to judge them, even if that is not true. Deep down, they might think, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough. This is just streaming from their own emotions, like, oh, well, maybe I'm falling behind because I should go buy a house right now, but I can't afford it. And maybe they're going to judge me because I'm still renting. Or maybe that they think when they come over that I live in such a small little shoebox and they're talking bad about me. Like, am I good enough? Like, do I need to change? No, I don't. And they're going to look for ways to prove that they don't. Rather, if they are aware that they're doing this or not, people will most often default to going towards criticism just for their own relief. And you do this too. Think about it. We all have done this. It has nothing to be ashamed of. This is a human response. So when someone is offering you criticism, think of this theory, remember this theory, and really understand that it has nothing to do with you. So why waste your time? In this situation, when the criticism is not overly toxic, is just stemming from a way of comparison, do the following. Say yes. For instance, if someone says, oh my goodness, the city is so loud and busy, it's going to take you forever to get anywhere. Say, yeah, probably. Or, oh, it's just so dirty and polluted, the air quality is just so bad. You can say, yeah, sure is. There is a time to back yourself verbally to that person when the criticism is toxic and truly hateful, but then there's also a time when you know it's not true. You know that's just stemming from their own insecurities and they're trying to validate their own emotions, their own decisions, and it will save you so much time to not fight with that person and just say, yeah. This does not mean you're not backing yourself and you're not standing up for yourself. It just means that you are so unbothered and you value your time so much more that it is not worth the effort of trying to change their mind or fight with them. Because newsflash, no matter how much you try, you never will. Remember, you know that you made the right decision. You know that that decision is going to lead you to happiness. You know that that is where you want to be. So don't let those little comments throw you off. Remain unbothered and don't give in to those argumentative people. They have already made up their mind and there is nothing you can do to change it. Remember that this form of criticism has nothing to do with you. You remind that person of something that is triggering them. For instance, say you have your dream job and you just got a raise and you just moved out and you're in a great relationship and right now it is a good time for you. Everything is going right in your life right now. Which is such a relief because last year you were not doing so well. And last year, that person that you're friends with was your BFF. She was there for you all the time. But now that you're actually in an upwards turn of events and you're feeling great and you're thriving, you're now receiving a lot of criticism from that one friend. That is because you are triggering them. You are acting as a reminder of everything that they do not have, and it is making them upset. When you start at the exact same place of life as someone else, when you have all of the same advantages and you are thriving and the other person is struggling on their self-improvement journey or not even beginning to start on it out of lack of self-awareness, they're often going to go to you and try to nitpick you and nitpick your decisions to, again, validate their own. Regardless of where this criticism is coming from or who it is coming from, recognize that this form has nothing to do with you, let it go, and move on. And I know it's harder said than done, which is why you need to stick to the end of this video because I'm going to reveal the life-changing tip truly to help you actually make this connection and end the spiral once and for all. Now think of the people who you met and you just didn't vibe with. You're not thinking bad about them. You don't hate them. You just didn't vibe with them, so you moved on. So when someone comes in your life and is giving you the same type of energy, think about that as the same way as you would be doing it to somebody else. They are most likely not going and saying, oh my gosh, that girl's so weird. Oh my God, I hate her. I don't ever want to talk to her again. There is so many different types of criticism. So we already touched on the criticism that is unwarranted, that is mostly about surface level stuff, like your life decisions or the clothes you decide to wear or who you decide to date. But one of the hardest forms of criticism is criticism of your work. When you receive criticism of something that you worked so hard on, that is so much harder to deal with. So here's the perfect example of how to handle criticism when someone comes to you and gives it to you. For instance, let's say your boss comes up to you and says, you did not meet expectations on this report and I'm kind of disappointed with it. Do not be aggressive and say, well, I did overtime for about 3.5 weeks and I have no idea what you were saying that to me because I worked hard on it, so you must be crazy. That is a sure way to get fired. It might be an indicator that you also need to do self-work, because the type of people who think they can genuinely do no wrong are usually the ones that are always wrong. What you should also not do is be overly passive and say, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I can't believe I did that. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'll go do it right now. I'll do it right now and I will work the whole night and I promise I'll get it done before tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You know that you did your absolute best, so you're probably just struggling and honestly a little confused of where you went wrong. It's embarrassing, sure. You feel bad about yourself, sure. You might have imposter syndrome now, thinking that you're not good enough and how did I even get this job? Why am I even doing this job? But don't let it get the best of you. Instead, do this. Give them further feedback and acknowledge their expertise. Most often, the person who is giving you this feedback does not want to be giving you this feedback. People giving performance reviews often get just as nervous as the people who are receiving theirs. Because good quality people don't like going up to someone who knows that they're trying their best and saying that it is not good enough or it needs work. But some people do. For this, acknowledging the time it took to review your work and acknowledging the fact that they are trying to help you improve, acknowledging that you value their expertise is going to make them feel good and they're going to be more open to whatever you're about to say next. Now, back yourself without being argumentative or coming off as you're unwilling to grow. Here's the thing, this is good advice when it applies to a teacher or a boss who's coming from a good point of view trying to give you this feedback. But what about someone who you've now determined is toxic? You now know that the criticism is solely from a place of negativity and to try and bring you down and make you feel less than. Sometimes in this situation, you just need to save yourself the time and the mental effort. And in this case, if you have someone who's consistently criticizing every little thing you do down to the wire, and you know it is just not you either, you actively see them criticizing wait staff, you actively see them criticizing every single person who works there, or everything in their life, even down to the thing that everything they eat for lunch is not good enough, or every time they go out, their coffee tastes weird, or something went wrong, or the world is ending, everyone's horrible. Sometimes people are just negative and sometimes you can't leave that situation. But if you are working on getting a new job or you're just trying to make it through the semester and get out of that professor's class and you can't drop it yet, here's how to handle it. Just get yourself through that temporary hardship until you can move on to a better place. But at the same time, I want to take a moment to tell you that this sucks. Like, I know it sucks and you might say, oh, this person is so critical. I know that it is not an implication or a reflection of me. Here's the thing. It is easy for you to say, I know this criticism has absolutely nothing to do with me, but actually believing it is a whole other ballpark. It is really hard when you're consistently being beaten down to go and be like, oh no, this is just this person, I am great, because eventually it does affect you and that is normal and that is just a human experience and it is okay. So here is something to help you feel better in those hard moments. When you run into a person who is critical over everything and they consistently, you feel like it's almost their mission to bring you down, just remember, when you get that piece of criticism, you might think, oh my goodness, they're spiraling about it today. Now they're going to think I'm horrible and they're all mad at me. Just know that those types of people are on to the next thing within a matter of minutes. They're criticizing you for one thing, the thing that you're obsessed about, the thing that you go home and cry about to your partner. They don't even remember that they said that to you because they criticized about 100 people and 101 different things that day. They're not going to sleep thinking, oh yeah, I said this mean thing to so-and-so. No, they don't even remember that they said that. So don't let something that someone doesn't even remember saying to you bother you that much. Try to think, will this affect me in 5 days, in 5 years? Absolutely not. So don't spend more than 5 minutes being hung up on it. No controversial opinion, but when you give yourself grace, I honestly think it can be helpful to give those overly critical people grace too. Because here's the thing, the people who always find fault in everyone, who are always criticizing everything, they are really, really unhappy. Imagine living in a world where nothing could be good enough, where everyone's out to get you and everyone is stupid and horrible and they just cannot please you. It would be a really bad place to live. Imagine how unhappy you would be. Those people are probably feeling that way, which is why they're criticizing everything, because it makes them feel better. Sometimes they just need to be told that, hey, you're doing a good job, or hey, you look really good today, or hey, I'm really proud of you. And it can be so hard to give those people kindness and grace in a moment where they're consistently trying to criticize you and you feel like it is out of a toxic, negative manner. But you'll be surprised how giving that person just a little bit of fuel to make themselves feel good, a little bit of satisfaction, can really improve how they treat you. Because sometimes people just want to hear that they're good enough. And even if someone is in the highest position at a company, they might still feel like they do not belong there. So when you feel like someone is made it their mission to criticize everything you do, try this way. Like, just try to give them a little bit of grace, try to compliment them and make them feel good enough, and see if that improves how they treat you. Because yes, here's the thing. We always want to back ourselves. We always want to stand up for ourselves. We don't want to let people walk all over us. And if it is a toxic situation, you absolutely should be getting out of it. But something that we need to consider is in life, sometimes we are going to face these types of people who often criticize us, and we aren't going to be able to get out immediately. We are going to have to continue working with people who are hard to work with, or we're going to have people in our lives, maybe within our relationship, because someone is married to someone or someone is dating someone like this, and you don't have the direct impact of cutting them out of your life without cutting off that other person too. That is where that advice would come into play. You know you're good enough, and I want you to back yourself, and I want you to think, you know what, I am a confident person. I am a good worker. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am all of these things. And when you do that, you teach people how to treat you. But don't get this confused with not taking any criticism. And every time someone's coming out and giving you even constructive criticism, you think, oh, no, I don't need that. I am perfect. And you brush it off. Because if you do that, you are doing yourself a disservice. Sometimes you need the criticism to grow. You'll never be able to avoid criticism, but you can control your outlook on it. And this brings us into the next chapter, how successful people handle criticism. If you always brush off criticism, you will never grow. Now, yes, if it is hateful, like you are so ugly, you should never post another picture again, definitely discredit that. But there is a difference between hate, toxic criticism, and again, constructive criticism. Sometimes you just have to swallow your own pride and look at that comment or look at that piece of criticism for what it actually is, which often is the truth. If you know that your spelling is bad, or if you know that you are just learning and growing and creating new videos, or you are learning in how to embrace your new style, or let's say you are creating your own clothing company and you're just learning how to piece together proper outfits, criticism in that case could be helpful. It often is. It is nothing to feel ashamed or embarrassed about. It can be really hurtful, and the type of criticism that kills us the most is when it is something that you are so passionate about. If you are an athlete, or if you are a content creator, or if you're doing something that is a direct result of your own labor, receiving criticism is so hard. But don't be embarrassed. Don't get sad. View this as your fast pass to success. If you take that criticism and you use it to your advantage, you use it and you think of it as like a free testing group that someone has now just told you without having to conduct this big expensive study, exactly what they think, exactly what you need to do to be better, and you know that there is truth to that. You know that that person is credible. Listen to them. Do not let your own pride stand in the way of your success. I can guarantee you that that person is not thinking about you. They probably left that comment because they knew that you were trying to grow, and they knew that that piece of advice could help you get there, and they moved on with their own life, and they're thinking with their own form of criticism that they're going through, or their own life problems, or their own self. Extract lessons from your failures to fuel your success. This is what a successful person would do. And if you want to be successful, if you want to live your dream life, you need to start practicing and viewing criticism in this way. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, you probably are still spiraling about it, but do not let yourself. You need to switch your mindset. If you know this is valid, you need to work on it. You need to see it as a way to grow as a person, to get to where you want to be faster, not as a way to tell yourself that you are not good enough, or not as evidence of why you should stop. No, use this as proof for why you should keep going, because you now have all the steps you need to know, and this criticism is helping you get closer to where you need to be, so use it for that. John Wooden once said that you cannot let praise or criticism get the best of you, and it is a weakness to get caught up in either one. If you go seeking for validation, if you can only do things when people tell you that you're good enough, or people give you a golden star, that is a problem. But it is also a problem if you give up every single time someone tells you that you are not good enough, or you shouldn't be doing this, or questions your beliefs, or questions your dreams, or tells you something that you need to work on. You need to get the confidence to be an it girl and back yourself. If you have a dream, if you are working on something, you should not let anyone stand in your way of doing exactly that. Nobody might tell you you're good enough. Everyone in the world might not understand it. But you know what? Nobody understood the iPhone. and you are now watching this or listening to this on one or on some sort of mobile device. Any idea starts off as crazy. Nobody understands it. Anytime you try to do something that is different from the norm, people are going to start talking. People are going to criticize. That is okay. Who cares? Why are you going to make life decisions based on what one person said to you once in a 5-minute hate comment or a 10-minute piece of constructive criticism session? Why are you going to let that get the best of you and dictate how you are going to live your life for its entirety? Because imagine this. Imagine you had a dream to become a content creator and you started creating content and people were telling you, oh, your videos are not that good, or, oh, you could really do better if you did this. And instead of saying, you know what, I could, and try to use that as fuel to be better, you say, oh, people don't like me, and you quit. Imagine if someone came to you and said, if you just kept going, 10 years down the road, you would have been a full-time content creator living in your dream house with your dream life, dream vacations. You were able to take care of your kids in the way that you've been dreaming of. Imagine how horrible that would feel. Don't be that type of person that gives up just because someone said something bad about you. That is what you are going to do. That is how you are going to become a confident it girl. Now let's talk about criticizing yourself. The biggest problem of all. We are our hardest critics. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you think they are. Everybody is worried about themselves, their own comments, their own piece of criticism, what they have to do today, what they're wearing today. They're just looking for ways to, again, find problems in their own life, and they are not thinking about yours. We all want to feed our egos. And when you understand that, you can make friends, influence people, and become happier as a result. And most of our issues exist really only in our minds. So remember this and don't draw attention to the things you're insecure about. Now let's say as a result of this criticism spiral session, you now have determined that one area of your life, let's say your nose, is an insecurity. If you go meet everyone and walk into the room and tell them, hey, my nose is slightly slanted and I hate it, I hate my nose, people are going to notice it. If you do not call out what you are insecure about or what other people have criticized, most people won't even pick up on it. So save this from yourself. If you walk into a party with a chipped nail or a snag in your pantyhose, or let's say your hair is a little bit greasy or anything else, it could even be deeper than that. If you do not comment on it, no one will notice. And if they do and they make fun of you for it or say something snarky, that is a reflection on them, not you. Because we all know that the good people don't comment on things that someone can't change in a minute. There's a difference between self-improvement and negative self-talk. If you receive a piece of criticism and you look at it as a way to improve yourself and journal about it, that is healthy, that is good. But if you see that piece of criticism and tell yourself, I suck, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, I can never do anything right, you need to back yourself. You need to own your confidence, own who you are, be true to yourself, and trust the darn process. You are going to get to where you want to be. Criticism is a result of success. The most successful people in the world receive the most hate and the most amount of criticism. Don't let other people dull your sparkle. Don't let other people change the way you want to live. Okay, now finally, let's get to the reason you clicked on this video. Let's get to the life-changing concept of how to finally end your spiral, end this whole battle that you are at with yourself, with this war of criticism in your head. I understand with every other video that you've watched about criticism, all the TikToks, everything you've Googled, trying to make yourself feel better, but you're not feeling better now. And why is that? I can tell you why. It is because you now know, this has nothing to do with me. This is not a reflection of who I am as a person. I should back myself because I know I'm confident. I'm healing. I love myself, etc. But you still are bothered by it. You still are thinking about it. So what is the answer that you're looking for? Guess what? The answer literally lies within you. We're clicking on this video because you can't get over that piece of criticism that you received, no matter how many videos you watch, what you've Googled, or how many times you told yourself that it is not true. You are in the trap of the spinning wheel. Have the criticism, you reflect, you feel bad about it, you process those feelings. Then you tell yourself either it is not true or I need to work on it or etc. Then you take it either as a piece of constructive criticism or toxic criticism, but regardless, you cannot get over it. You're still stuck in the phase of saying, I'm not good enough, this hurts my feelings, poor me, I feel bad about myself. You don't believe in the words that people are telling you. You don't believe me when I say that you are good enough, that you should love yourself, that you should back yourself. You think you do, but you don't. And that is okay. It is so hard to be able to just receive something mean or receive something that's hard to swallow about something that we're so passionate about and then just be able to be like, okay, it's cool, no worries. Imagine how amazing of a life would be if we genuinely just could take criticism that way. Here's the secret to the people who can actually handle criticism, especially when you're young and you're learning. You pretend to. It is normal to care about what people think about you. It's normal to be upset when you feel like you're not good enough. Here's the thing. When you get that piece of criticism, you just have to tell yourself that you are okay with it. You have to remind yourself about everything that was in this video and stop yourself from that end of the spiral to continue that process and continue that circling, able to get out of the spinning wheel. You need to now know that you've done everything that you can do. You've handled the criticism, you responded to it in the proper way, you've processed it now, and now it is time to let it go and send it back out into the universe. And here's what you're going to do. You are going to keep telling yourself, no, not today, Satan, every single time it keeps popping up in your head. You need to untrain your brain to giving into the tendencies to continue thinking about it, to continue your spiral. You have the power to end your spiral solely by just telling yourself, I am not going to think about this anymore. You are robbing yourself of your own happiness and your own time by allowing yourself to continue to talk about this, to continue to think about this, even though you've already processed it and you know the answer. You need to stop feeding into this. When you catch yourself continually thinking about that piece of criticism, that hate comment, or whatever is bothering you, you're going to go and say, not today, Satan. And then you're not going to let yourself think about it. You're going to force yourself to pay attention to something else. You're going to force yourself to do something else. Find any other positive distraction. Now it's probably going to come up in your head again and again, and you are going to continue this process. Do not let yourself think about it and feel bad about it anymore after you've already processed the issue. You have to train your brain to be able to stop these thoughts, and that is going to take a long time. So you're going to have to consistently be able to tell yourself, not today, Satan, not today, Satan, not today, Satan, and just consistently distract yourself when you are restarting that whole spiral cycle. And eventually this will come easier to you as you teach yourself this for longer and longer, through months, through years. One day you will finally be able to go to that point where you do the cycle once and it genuinely stops and you genuinely don't think about it again. Because your life experience will know that that criticism either is fueling your growth or it is something to be completely discarded. And then you will simply let it go because you now have the life experience and enough life lessons learned to not let this stop you and not let it get you down. So whatever you are thinking about right now, okay, whatever is bothering you, whatever problem that is today, because our brains will always look for problems, you are going to say and recognize, I know that in my head, my brain is trying to look for problems. My brain is trying to trick me into telling me I'm not good enough and giving me imposter syndrome because it's all in my head, but it is not true. I know it's not true. I know I'm good enough. I know I'm working on myself and trying the best I can possibly be, and that means I am the best I can possibly be. So I am not going to give in. Not today, Satan. I want you to choose right now to make a decision that, you clicked on this video for a reason. Whatever you're thinking about, genuinely push it out of your head. Do not let yourself think about it. When it comes into your mind, focus on something else. Either text a friend about something different, watch a TV show, go for a walk, go think about something else. It could be even as simple as saying, nope, not today, Satan. Oh my gosh, I love the color pink. Look at my pink cute little water bottle. I'm going to go take a sip of I'm going to go put lemon juice in this water bottle. Oh, I am so healthy. Literally just distract yourself with random thoughts until you can come back and not think about whatever is bothering you. As long as you've already healed from it, as you've already gave it that time and attention that you need to be able to process those emotions in a healthy way, there is no reason to waste your time and energy on something that you are not going to give a crap about in 5 years or even 5 days. Eleanor Roosevelt once said that you should do what you feel is right in your heart because you are going to be criticized no matter what. Embrace criticism as a testament to your courage to keep going, to use it as fuel to get you closer to where you want to be, and the fact that you did not give up. You should be proud of yourself. You should back yourself. You already are the it girl. No matter what you choose in life or what you try to do, you could think you were the best person in the world at Olympic swimming, but there is going to be someone who has something bad to say about you. So do not waste your life obsessing over this criticism. Now, if you want to embark on your self-improvement journey, if you want to become the happiest, the hottest, the healthiest version of you in 2024, I have the ultimate it girl micro habits that you need to start now to live your best life. And that is coming in the next episode. So make sure you subscribe to this podcast for more to be notified when that gets uploaded. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and give this video a like to show me that you enjoyed it and to help push our videos out and build the Get Up and Glow community, because I am on a mission to help women like you become the best version of themselves to glow up, because I love women and I love you, and I hope you're doing great, and I hope you feel better after this video. And if you are listening on a podcast platform, please go ahead and rate this podcast. I would be so happy. I genuinely read every single one of your Instagram DMs or your reviews. I know a lot of people will message the TikTok or the Instagram, which is the Get Up and Glow podcast, or my personal account if you want to see like inspiration of me actually taking action on all the things I talk about. A lot of people will follow me at Madison.Haynes and give me a little comment or a message saying that like the podcast has changed their life. If you have done that, I know recently today I got a DM from Ella, and Ella told me that she loves the podcast. I also noticed that she is living in a very similar, or she's going to school in a similar area to me. So that's amazing. Hi, Ella, if you're listening to this. Thank you so much, girl. Literally made my day. So thank you to every single one of you who leaves a review, who leaves a DM, who leaves a comment. You make my day. You're help making a difference. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you want daily motivation to become the best version of yourself, if you want glow up tips, like wrapped up in a fun pink girly bow, you would love the Get Up and Glow TikTok. I post daily on there, and it's at the Get Up and Glow podcast. Someone hasn't told you yet today, I am proud of you. You are doing great things. You made it to the end of this video, which means you are invested in your self-worth. You are invested in healing your self-love, in your self-development journey, and I am so proud of you. You are doing great things, and you are the it girl. And may you go into this week, right? And every time someone gives you criticism, or anytime someone says anything negative, you remember all the things that we chatted about today. You brush it off, or you accept it, but you don't pay too much attention to it. You use it to fuel your self-improvement journey. Go into this week feeling confident. Go into this week backing yourself, and have a great one. I love you so much. I don't know if that's weird to say, but I really do. I feel like I am connecting with you through this podcast so much. So anyways, until next episode, thanks for listening. XOXO, your self-improvement glow up fairy godmother. Bye, guys.